down. Remote control, probably. Hi. Best start to a video. Hello, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to a brand new video and welcome to my 5-year anniversary on YouTube, because that is what this is. And I'm really excited about it. It's a very simple video though for it compared to what it could have been, and I could have done something extravagant, and I will explain my ideas. But before we get into this, for those of you who don't know me, my name's Amelia, and I upload reading vlogs, book videos, weekly vlogs occasionally, and lifestyle kind of content. And if you do enjoy these kind of videos, please give it a thumbs up, please comment down below, please subscribe, and please follow my social medias, they are linked down below. And without further ado, let's just get on with it, because I'm so excited. Just bear with me. Okay, so this is my 5-year anniversary video. So I've been doing YouTube for 5 years. I actually started it in my first year of uni. I had been contemplating starting it for ages, and then decided that year, after watching some uni vlogs mainly, that I wanted to start a YouTube channel. Just because I really enjoyed watching it and was like, I want to do that. And I really wanted to document my uni life, so I did, and kind of. And I've been doing it for 5 years, and so I've seen so many differences in me, and I've seen so much change in 5 years, but I still enjoyed doing it, if that makes sense. But before we get into this, well, I say before we get into this, we're getting into this, but get yourself a drink. I've got myself a nice little cup of coffee, because I got home from work and I'm a little bit tired, but I wanted to film it, so I've got a nice little cup of coffee. Whether I remember to drink it is a different question. I am doing a Q&A, if you couldn't tell by the title. Most of the questions are related to books, because if you couldn't tell, my channel is reading, and I'm going to talk quickly about that first, before we get into the video, the questions. I have been doing YouTube, like I said, for 5 years now, and it started off as uni content, and that was great until I finished uni, and then I was stuck on content. And in the last year, I've been playing around with what content I upload and what I do. I started miniseries and I stopped, theatre reviews and a life series, and I stopped both of them. More because I just didn't really enjoy talking about it. I didn't enjoy talking about theatre, but I felt like my theatre reviews came within my vlogs, and I preferred that. So I will vlog when I've got exciting things happening at weekends. However, I then was weekly vlogging, but it just got a bit. And then I was fine until I got a full-time job, and then my weeks were, I'd go to work, I'd come home, and I would do nothing. Nothing substantial vlogging, and so I was weekend vlogs, which I still do sometimes. I just haven't really done it for a while, and it's partly because I've been so busy, and also I've been doing reading vlogs. So over the last year, in the middle of 2021, I started doing booktube videos, and most of my recent videos have all been to do with reading. And so my sole kind of niche, if you remember, I don't really like setting myself down into one little spiral or one part of YouTube. I like doing different things, but my main niche on my YouTube channel now is books, reading vlogs and book videos. That is my main kind of style of videos that are going to be related, so reading vlogs especially, because I really just enjoy reading books and sharing my experience, sharing my thoughts with you, as if I'm talking to a friend about it, we're in a bit of a book club. So that is why my channel is now basically a booktube channel. I started it before I watched most of the YouTubers I watch now, booktubes. I started it after watching some of Jack Ben Edwards videos and Steph Burrows, and I was I really enjoyed them. And then I started watching more booktubers like Alexa Ray, Destiny Sidwell, Sarah Corelli, Katie is Reading, it's Ash Taylor, Hayley Pham, and so many other booktubers, and I fell in love with it, and I really enjoyed it, and I was I want to do that. I really just enjoyed it, and I'm not doing it because I want loads of subscribers and become a massive booktuber. I'm just doing it because I enjoy it, and I've really found a love for wanting to film videos again. I didn't say I lost my want, but I just love vlogging reading. I try to think of, I do the Instagram shoot my books, I do 24-hour reading. I'm currently filming annotate my reread my 2 of my top books from 2022 and annotate them with me, and like I'll continue to have, and like a lot of the books I have are quite popular, so it's like it makes it more worthwhile filming videos for, because I want to share it with the people because it's a popular book and I know more people talk about it. So yeah, that is what my channel is going to be like now. I will sprinkle in like weekly vlogs or weekend vlogs when I've got exciting things coming. Like this weekend coming, I'm going to vlog because I've got quite a few things happening, and then the weekend after I'll probably vlog. I probably won't vlog the weekend after that because it is just going to be a good catch up weekend with my friends. So yeah, I'm really excited for now. I know exactly what I'm kind of doing with my YouTube channel, and I'm happy that I can share it with you on my 5-year anniversary, that's what I'm planning to do, is book related stuff, if you couldn't tell. I do also have a Bookstagram, which is where most of the questions for today's Q&A came from. I have one question, well, a couple of questions that are not really booktube related, and then most of them are more book related, and I'm fine with that because I didn't really care what kind of questions I got. I have 2 Instagram accounts that I create content for, and one of them is a Bookstagram and one is just my normal one where I post like fashion and lifestyle stuff. So yeah, anyway, I'm sure you're done with me rambling on. Let's just get in with the questions, because I could talk about every single video I did, and to be fair, I did have this idea of rewatching my old YouTube videos and reacting to them, but I just don't think I can put myself through that. I really don't. I think I did it for a video once and I was like, that's fine. Don't think I can put myself through it again, it's just a bit cringy, and I don't know. I also don't really want to see my old uni room, so... Okay, so we're going to start the Q&A. I'm actually going to start it with the question I got on my non-booktube account, because most of them are on my booktube account, so it just makes more sense. So the first question I have is, what advice would you give to yourself from 5 years ago just starting your channel? I think it's a good question, and I think it's... Actually thinking about it, I think I would say be consistent, but don't be consistent to a point where it's unrealistic for you. I think I got in my own habit of like, I saw all these YouTubers uploading, like having a consistent schedule of uploading on a Thursday and a Sunday, or Wednesday and a Sunday, all these, and they would do it religiously every week. And like, that's fine if it's your job and that's all you have to focus on. But when, and I should not say it's all that they all have to focus on, they all have other things they have to focus on as well, but it's like, that's the social media and creativity is their only part of their life. That's what they do as their career. So it makes sense. For me, throughout that time I was doing uni work, I was working. I work now, and it's really hard sometimes to like consistently be on my computer editing, and it's not a job for me, so it is just a hobby. And I think when I say be consistent, I mean post regularly when you can. But I don't know. When I say be consistent, is be consistent with who you are and what you want to do, but also try not to force yourself too much. Like, it's got to be something you enjoy. I think for that point, I didn't start this wanting it as a career. I never did do it as wanting it as a career. I started it it was like a little bit of fun. But there were times when I would focus on the numbers because, you know, it is something as a YouTuber or a person who does YouTube, you want to see the growth, and then you're like, why am I not growing? Reality is that it does take time and it's not easy. And I mean, I know I've only got a small subscriber on my YouTube, and I know I haven't got a massive YouTube gang of people subscribed to my channel, and that's fine. Like, I've had my channel since I was 22, and it's just, I would rather a slow growth in 5 years than a fast growth but people not watching, and I am very happy with what I've got. So I'd say be consistent, don't focus on numbers. And I think my main thing about 5 years, I'd say, is film videos and post videos you enjoy filming and posting. Don't film stuff because it's trending at the time, just because you think that's what people would want to see and you think that's what's going to give you the views. Because honestly, if you're not enjoying it, it's not worth uploading at all. And I'm not saying that it's not going to be good, but what I'm saying is that, like, if you're not enjoying it, how are people going to be, I don't want to watch a YouTube video where you can clearly see someone's not enjoying doing it. I want to see people be authentic to themselves and actually enjoy doing what they're doing, which is why I've kind of narrowed down my niche to booktube, because that's what I enjoy doing. I enjoy reading, and I enjoy vlogging it, so it just makes sense. And the reading part motivates me to film videos, reading motivates me to read, and then it gets me through my TBR. But yeah, so I just say do things that you enjoy, post videos that you enjoy, and don't be so strict on yourself if you really can't get a video up that week, because I think it's so easy to get lost in my mind saying if you don't have a video you feel so guilty because you haven't uploaded one. But if you haven't got either a motivation or you haven't got a video, don't upload it, because don't just upload something willy-nilly for the sake of uploading it, because it will end up not being great for you. And I've done it. I honestly, I looked back at some of my old videos earlier today and I was like, oh my god, I actually posted that, like, really? So yeah, that was that question. Let's move on. Okay. One second. Okay, I'm just going to go in order of what I see. So the first question is, what made you want to start a YouTube channel, and do you regret any of it? I wanted to start a YouTube channel because when I started, like I said, I was at uni, and I loved watching uni vlogs. I was watching Charlotte Emily. No, actually, I don't think I was watching Charlotte Emily at that time, so that's a lie. I love Charlotte Emily, and she did become one of my favourite uni vloggers at the time when she was at uni, so I loved her. But I think at the time I was watching, like, for uni wise, I don't think I was watching many. I was like watching Jack Ben Edwards because he started the same year I did, and Caitlin Rose, who started like a year or two before I started. A year before I started. And I remember watching her for uni vlogs before I started uni, and it kind of like gave me that comfort of when I went to uni. But I then was like watching other ones whilst I was there, and I was just like watching loads of other vlogs, like YouTubers, like then there was like Anastasia, Saffron, and all that. And I was like, I really just want to vlog. So I was just like, why not? I was very much into social media. So I just wanted to do it because of that, and I just wanted to document my uni life in a way that like I could. And at times, when I first started, I didn't upload many uni vlogs. I will be honest, my uni vlogs were not really, and when I did, they weren't great. Actually, no, some of my ones from first year were like my best uni vlogs I look back on, because I filmed myself in the library and stuff. But yeah, so I started, that was why I started it, and then I continued because I just enjoyed it. And it just gave me something to do in the evenings, and I really enjoyed doing it. And especially before I had a full-time job, it was more something that kept me going. And whilst having a full-time job, as much as it's been difficult to keep up with it and actually come up with ideas and filming and editing, I've really enjoyed it. It's having to find that balance. And then, do I regret any of it? No, I don't know. I don't regret any of it, because I think I've become more confident as time's gone by. I think looking back at my YouTube videos, I definitely think I've become more confident. Especially this year. Like, I went to Paris for my birthday and I vlogged the whole week. I don't like vlogging in public usually, but recently I've been vlogging in public in London, I've been vlogging in public. I vlogged the whole week in Paris, and I'm probably going to be vlogging Barcelona, and I'll be vlogging this weekend in London. So yeah, it's definitely, I think I've become more confident, so I don't regret anything, because my character growth has fallen around this, and I think it's become part of my life that even without, it's not a job, but it's definitely helped in some ways of my enjoyment, and it's just something, it's given me something to do and I've enjoyed it. So I don't regret any of it. I wouldn't be, if I was to regret doing any of this, I probably would not have continued my channel. I would not be filming this 5 years down the line if I was regretting any of it, because I don't want to live my life in regrets, and I don't like to have any regrets. I think maybe if I had any regrets, it's maybe some videos I posted, but I don't regret any of it really, because even those videos I obviously enjoyed filming at the time. I think looking back, I was definitely like, a lot of those videos were like a year after I started doing it, like my Bit Life one, which was my thing I'm most cringe looking back at. But at that point, I played that every day at uni when I was in my house at uni, so it just made sense to put it in there. Okay, next question is tips to help grow your Bookstagram. I think, again, being consistent but consistent for you. I think posting book reviews of books you've read recently, like, that helps, because people see and reels of like your favourite books. And I think I just think it's been, I've only started my Bookstagram just before Christmas. I'm only on 90 something followers, but I think that's a really decent followers considering. And I think another thing is supporting other bookstagrammers who post Bookstagram content. Having that support helps a lot. Like, you then feel like you become a friendship group, and then you grow as time goes by. I think just being consistent, being patient, and being creative with your content enough that it's different to others, but you know, because I obviously get a lot of ideas from other people, but like I post my book reviews of the books I've read, and especially if I've loved a book so much to the point where I can't stop thinking about it in a day, I'll post it that day. But yeah, just be consistent, be motivated. And if I post what's authentic to you, it's another thing like YouTube. Don't post something just because you think people will like it. Post something because you want to post it. Because one of my reels, I posted a reel back in like January about the book I was reading, the first book I was reading of 2023, which was Twisted Games. The reel started off at like it stayed at 100, it stayed at like 20 views for ages, and then went up to like 30, 40. It's now over 1,000, and it has so many likes like a month later. So, you know, people will come around to it, and you just need to like just post what you feel happy with, and people will come around to it. Okay, ooh, my reminder came up. Okay, we're moving on to like all the book questions. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, 10, 11 questions left. And I think that's pretty good. I'm really excited. So, what is your top 5 romance books that you rated 5 stars? Gosh. I rated 5 stars. Better Than the Movies. I read this year in January. It's actually part of one of my videos. My Instagram followers chose my reads. Better Than the Movies was the first book I read for that book series, that video, and oh my god, it was just the cutest. It's a YA romance, so if if you're not a fan of it's like YA romance, then probably not for you. But it's just such a cute, quick and easy read, and I just fell in love with Wes and Liz. Like I can't stop thinking about them. I just think I think it's because I love the Duff, and I've said this in the video, but it just reminds me so much of it just reminds me so much of the Duff. That's one of my favourite movies, that I think I love the book as much. So yeah, Better Than the Movies is one of them. Ugly Love by Colin Hoover. I just absolutely love that book. I know some people didn't, and I understand why, but I loved the story. I loved Miles and Tate. I loved the backstory of Miles and Rachel, and like finding out why Miles was the way he was with Tate at first is really understandable once you hear his backstory and his story with Rachel. And honestly, it broke me. I read that book within 24 hours or under. When I did have a massive cold that day, I remember, but I loved it so much that it's one of my favourite. With This Kiss by Carrie Hope Fletcher, this book was insane. It was so good. It was amazing. It's a story about Lorelai and Grayson. Lorelai when she kisses people, she can see how they're going to die, so she avoids kissing people. But then she meets Grayson, and they have the chemistry is there, and it's everything. It's just the story of that is just, and the angst between it, because she's not sure what's going to happen. I just love it so much, and I think it's like beautiful. It's a beautiful story, and I can't get over it. I loved it. That's 3, right? Another top romance book. What I have to look back, I think the Fine Print and Terms and Conditions, I'm going to keep them as 1 because I love them. They're part of the series, and I love them both. I will actually say Terms and Conditions is my favourite. I gave that 5 stars. Didn't give Fine Print 5 stars. The Terms and Conditions, I loved Iris and Declan. Like everything about them was amazing, and I honestly absolutely loved that story. I just can't get over it. And then another one I gave 5 stars. Oh god, I was going to say Daisy Jones and the Six, but I don't really see it as a love story. Romance book. I feel like it is a romance book in some ways. I'm just going to put Daisy Jones and the Six. Right there and then. It was that or Reminders of Him, but I'm going to put Daisy Jones and the Six because I've already put a Colin Hoover book in there. Daisy Jones and the Six was one of my 5-star reads last year, and I'm actually rereading it now for my 5-star reads from last year. With me and annotating it, and it is one of my favourite books I've read, and like rereading it now, I'm like only 4 chapters in I think it is, and like I feel like I'm reading it for the first time again, and I'm like, oh my god, but I'm so excited. The series comes out on Friday, and I absolutely love the book. It's just such a great one, so I'm going to put that there. I don't know if it's really classed as a romance. I think it is romance in it, so I'm going to say it is. I think it's between that and Seven Husbands and Evelyn Hugo are 2 of my favourites, but yeah, Daisy Jones and the Six for sure. Okay, favourite book boyfriend. Oh boy. There's a few. I will say I might have to list a few. I think Archer Hay. Oh my god. I'm going to go back to that last question before I do this one. I will read that question I just said again, the book boyfriend one again. But I'm going to have to add a sixth one to top 5 books. I can't believe I forgot about it. I might scrap Daisy Jones from that because I'm still questioning it. It is a bit of a romance story. I'm not going to say it's not. But I feel like it's not as much as Archer's Voice is. And Archer's Voice is one of my top. It is literally my top one. It's in my top 5 books of my life. It's the best book I've read, and I can't believe I didn't think about that when I said it. It was that I was gonna put hooks in there, and it is a romance book, but I feel like that's coming up later. But Archer's Voice, boy, that book is my heart. Everything about it. Brie and Archer have this cute story. It made me cry. It was everything. So there you go. Okay, moving back on. Favourite book boyfriend. So Archer Hale for sure. I mean, if I could have an Archer Hale in my life, I would. Gus Everett from Beach Read. Absolutely love him. And yeah, James Barry from Hook. Bless you. James Barry from Hook. I know he is a killer. He's a murderer. He's not a great person, but I loved him. Oh my god. Who else? Wes from Better Than the Movies. I would take Miles Archer from Ugly Love. I would take Ledger from Reminders of Him. I have too many favourite book boyfriends. I'm very easily pleased with a man and a book, as long as they're written well. But yeah, I'm going to go through those ones. Favourite book couple. Okay, now this is again a lot, but ones that stand out to me, probably Miles and Tate, Archer and Bree, Declan and Iris, Rowan and Zara. I'm going to do 5, so I'm going to think of my 5th one. Favourite book couples. Oh my god, it's hard to choose when you limit yourself down. And Wendy and James from Hooked, because yes, I loved them. And I think it's just because it's so unexpected that I loved them the most. Okay. A book you DNF'd. I have 2 books I DNF'd. One I actually gave to charity, the other one I've still got waiting to potentially read. So the one I've still got and I DNF'd is How to Kill Your Family by Bella Mackie. I couldn't get into it. I did enjoy the first few pages, but the chapter's long and it's giving me stuff of the story I don't care about. And I'm sure it's important to the story, but I just don't care about it. So I need to check if stuff on DNF'd it, and then because I've got in this habit this year, if I am getting bored of a book, I'm just gonna put it down, because I'm not gonna force myself to read something if I'm not enjoying it, because it ruins the fun, and it gets me in a reading slump, and I don't want to be in a reading slump. And then the other book I DNF'd last year was Up Close and Personal. Don't even remember who it was by. It was one of those ones in Works, which was on the £3 for £6 deal, and I picked it up and was like, read it, and I started reading it, and I was like, I can't even get into it. It bored me so much, so I gave it to charity. Favourite book series? Okay, I have to say, I've started quite a few series recently, which is kind of annoying, because I got to read all of them now. But my favourite book series, I have to say, is I'm going to go with... it's hard because I've got several, but I'm going to go with 2 when I've read 2 of the books out of the series, because the other ones I've only read 1 of the series, and obviously that's only the start, and they're more fantasy or dark retelling. So I know, I think the ones are like standalones, so you can do them as standalones, but they're still part of a series, if that makes sense. But yeah, my 2 favourite series right now, and they're quite popular. I'm not putting Harry Potter in this because I feel like I love Harry Potter anyway. We all know. If anyone watched my channel, they will know I did watch Harry Potter with me for the weekend. I think it could have been for my 4-year anniversary. Can't really remember. But anyway, no, my 3-year anniversary even. But anyway, so I'm not putting Harry Potter in this. So my favourite series are the Dreamland Billionaire series, with the Fine Print getting a 4.25 or 4.5 star, and Terms and Conditions got a 5-star ranking. And I absolutely love that story, love those two books, I just love them. And I cannot wait to read The Final Offer. And then another one is the Twisted series. I've read Twisted Love and Twisted Games. I think that's what it's called. Yeah, Twisted Games. I had to look to make sure. And I loved both of them. I think they were so good. Like, I loved Alex and Ava's story. I loved Bridget and Reese's story. And I just think they were great books, great stories, and I really cannot wait for the rest of the series. I would have read them all by now if I could have done, but I wanted to get through other books in my series and not put my TBR card and not just the same series. So, yeah, those two are my favourite series, I think, at the moment. I'm yet to start the Addicted series, so I can't say that. Go away. Do you buy more than you read or read more than you buy? I think, if you couldn't tell, I buy more than I read, because as I've said, and I think in the last video that I uploaded, that buying books and reading books are two separate hobbies. And I love reading books, but I also love buying books. I don't know why, I just do. I like spending money, but I like spending money on books, and I don't know why. I've got too many, and I don't need any more. And every time I walk into the works, they've got a new one, or a book that's just recently been released, and I'm like, well, it's cheap here, I want it. So I buy it, and I'm like, did I need that? Probably not. Okay, do you prefer reading physical books or ebooks? Physical books, 100%. I don't like, the thing is, the only reason I like reading books physically is because the idea for me was, the reason I started getting into reading again last year was, I needed something that got me off my phone a little bit each night, even if it was for half an hour, because I spend too much time on my phone. Too much time on a computer. I spend my job 7 hours at a computer screen. Then I come home, I sit on my phone, I watch TV, I'm on my computer. I needed something that was slightly not related to looking at a computer, even if it's just for half an hour. So and I don't want to look at a screen to read a book. I understand why people like the Kindle, and I understand it's easier, but I do just like the feeling of a physical book. It just feels so much better for me, and I just, every time I read it, I just can't. I've read an ebook, okay, I only read it on my phone, but I just didn't like it. So, and I don't see myself spending so much money on a Kindle to then not use it, because I just keep thinking I'm probably not going to use it. Like, I have an iPad that I need to take off charge, because that's the way to check. Ow. I have an iPad that I use, but if I read stuff on it, I would get bored of it. I couldn't do it. And I'm always easily sidetracked when I'm using something that's technology-wise. Don't know why. Next one is, do you read with anything on in the background? Usually it's either a film I've seen before, or a TV show I don't need to pay attention to, but recently I found listening to music is my favourite way of reading a book, because there's nothing to distract me apart from the music, and the music just gets me in the zone. I find a playlist for the book, especially because most of the books I read are popular books. So I find a playlist for the books, or the couple of the books in the books, and then I read with that playlist going on, and I just get into the zone, and it blocks everything out, and I just read and listen to music, and I'm loving it. So I definitely recommend listening to music if you struggle with TV, because I do sometimes. Okay, I've got 3 more questions for you guys. 3 more questions. My coffee's probably sitting here getting cold, so I just hit my tooth. The next one is books you want to read this year. These are the ones I will be showing you, the physical copies, because I wanted to show you the ones I want to read this year. Some of them are part of series, so I will tell you if I want to read a series or just a book. Most of them are part of a series, to be honest. I think on my TBR card I want to read this year, not just these ones, but these are the main ones I really want to get to this year. So we're going to start, I want to finish the Twisted series. So this is Twisted Hate, which is the next one I got to read, which is about Josh and Jules. So I want to read this. It's dusty. And I also want to read Twisted Lies, which is the second one, because the last one. I just really want to finish this Twisted series, because I just need that feeling. I love it. And this is quite a chunky book, so I think when I get to it, it'll take me a while to read. The next one I want to read and I want to finish is the Kingdom of the Wicked series. So this is Kingdom of the Cursed, which is the second book, and I want to read Kingdom of the Feared as well. I am thinking of doing this for a video because I read Kingdom of the Wicked for my favourite booktube is Choose My Next Read, and I really want to do this for a video. I might even use this as a chance to do another favourite booktube. My favourite booktube is Choose My Next Read, but choose 2 books and I choose from those ones. But yeah, anyway, that's a different question, but I really want to finish the series. I then also want to read, I may not finish the series because they are quite long books and I don't know, but I want to at least read 1 or 2 more books of the Agatha series. So this is The Court of Mist and Fury, which is the second book, which is the next one I need to read. This is some hefty book, man. This is what puts me off getting into series like this, because they get thicker and thicker and thicker. And I'm like, oh my god. But yeah, I want to read this one so bad. Very soon. I will probably be reading this soon because I still, like, I'm not over the first book. And I really liked it, so. The next one is It Happened One Summer. I wanted to read this last summer and I don't know why I didn't. But I really want to read it because I really want to start reading. Like, I want to get into Amelia because I've got 3 of her books now and I've not read one. So I really want to read this one because I've heard so much about it and so many good things about it. So I want to get to read this one this year. I don't care when, just some point. The next one I want to read is I want to read another one of these. I want to try and finish the Never After series, but if not, at least want to read one of them. Probably Twisted, but it's between Twisted and Wretched Guard. It's the last thing I've got to read. And honestly, I feel like I need to read it. Hooked had me in a chokehold. Like, if you want to be as ironic and punny or whatever, Hooked had me hooked. It's such a good book. And then finally, the series I really want to start and at least read a few of is the Addicted series. The Addicted / the Calloway Sisters series, because the Calloway Sisters, the Calloway Brothers, Calloway Sisters, I got it right. Because I'm reading it in the order of when you're meant to read them. I just said the train. Because I've heard so many good things about it. I've actually listened to this one on Audible. I like listening to it, but it's not the same as I do want to read it and annotate it and stuff, and I just want to read this series and get into this. It's just, I want it. So, yes, I won't really read this one on Ricochet and Addicted for now, but we'll see what I get to this year. There's a lot of books that I want to read, and I need to get to 50, and I'm currently on 10, so I've got 40 books left to read in the year, so it's fine. Okay, next one is favourite books of all time. Yes. Okay. I actually am going to say a few because I can't choose. Archer's Voice, 100%, because, you know, I loved it. Daisy Jones and the Six, again, fantastic writing. Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, fantastic. With This Kiss by Carrie Hope Fletcher, fantastic. Reminders of Him and Ugly Love by Colleen Hoover, 2 great books. I loved It Ends With Us and It Starts With Us. And to be honest, they are high up there as well. Hooked by Emily McIntyre is literally, no, it did everything to me. I'm actually going to say something I didn't think I was going to say, and that is actually Love in Other Words. Because I didn't give it a high ranking last year. I gave it like 3.5, and now I'm thinking about it. I should have put it higher. Because I still can't stop thinking about it. I read it in like September time last year, I think. And it feels like I read it yesterday. I still can't stop thinking about it. And I know I read Every Summer After, which is so similar. Which is probably why I'm thinking about it. But even before that, I still couldn't stop thinking about it. So I think I'm going to have to say Love in Other Words is up there with one of my favourite books of the year all the time. And Unhoney Mooners, because I really loved it, and One True Loves, and should I just list out all my books? And The Fine Print and Terms and Conditions and Better Than the Movies. So there you go, you've got quite a few books as my favourite books of all time. But my most favourite book of all time is Archer's Voice and Daisy Jones and the Six. Top 2. Hands down. You will get me saying that for as long as I can possibly say. Because they are 2 of my favourite books. And then finally, favourite book trope. It is difficult to choose my favourite trope because I have several. But I think I'll have to say Second Chance Romance, because I absolutely love It Ends With Us. What's the one? Well, It Ends With Us. It starts with us as a Second Chance Romance with Atlas and Lily. But more like Love and Other Words and Ever Summer After. I loved that there was a Second Chance Romance in that. I also do love Grumpy vs Sunshine. And I love Enemies to Lovers. I think I'm going to go with those being my top 3, because I can't think of anything else. So, yeah. So we're going to go with Strangers to Lovers. Not Strangers to Lovers. No. Second Chance Romance. Enemies to Lovers. And what's the other one? Grumpy vs Sunshine. So, yeah. But anyway, that is all the questions. And I am actually ending it here. I said it's all the questions. Let's just quickly check my thing to make sure no one else sent any more in, because that would be a bit annoying. Sure. Well, not a bit annoying, So yeah, that is all the questions. If you did enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up, please comment down below, please subscribe, and please follow my social medias, and I will be back with another video very soon.